Hello and welcome to Weed Mama. Today I'm going to do a comparison video between the dryer vaporizers by Davinci, the IQ2 and the IQC. The IQC is their newest model and it's their budget model, so it's a little bit less expensive than this one, with a few differences that really aren't that big of a difference when we get right down to it. So let's take a look. So both of the IQ2 and the IQC Davinci models have the same basic features that make the Davinci vaporizer so good, which is the ceramic bowl on the inside, the long vapor path, really solid unit, removable batteries, and good warranties on both. So what I love about these Davinci vaporizers is the fact that they have removable batteries. So what I do is I just pop these batteries out. These are rechargeables. You stick them in the charger and then you put a new one in, because a lot of the times with dryer vaporizers, the batteries are not removable. And that means if the battery fails, then you can't use your vaporizer until you get it fixed or you have to buy a new one. So let's look at the key differences between these two models. If you look at the finish, this one is brushed and this one's more shiny. I mean, that's a small difference. I find that weight-wise, this one is slightly heavier. This one is slightly bigger and slightly thinner. Sorry, the IQC is slightly smaller than this one. But really, the difference is so small, you can barely tell the difference. Also, the difference between these two is this one charges with the USB-C cables. That's why it's called the IQC, so it's faster charging, a little more convenient to have that cable. But as I said, it's the batteries you can just remove and replace easily. So you don't have to use the USB cable to charge these. The other difference is with the mouthpiece. So this one is silicone. And the other thing that they did was they made the magnetic snap on this tighter. It works a little bit better than this one does, but it's a minor difference. Yeah, this one's just a little bit tighter. I also find that the cap makes no difference when you're using it. I don't see nothing really significant that would make me say this one's so much better. They're really pretty much the same. They both have the glass-lined vapor path that runs the length of the unit, so you can look, I'll show you on this one actually, in there. And both of them come with this stick that you can use to pop out the stopper, and then you can see the vapor path runs all the length of the unit, so you get a cooler vapor. Both are equal as far as that. So the big difference between these two is price and warranty. The IQ2, it has a 10-year warranty, and in the US this retails for $300 American, and in Canadian dollars it's like $385, so there's a big difference. And this model, the IQC, retails for about $230 American, and in Canada it's about $300 American. There's actually quite a big difference in price when you are buying it in Canada over the US. So if you are in Canada and you are on a budget, this one might be a better option for you, because Davincis are great vaporizers in general. They both have great warranties. This one is a 10-year warranty. This one is a 5-year warranty. Now, most dryer vaporizers come with a 1 to 2 year warranty. So overall, either one, you're going to get a really great warranty. The other key differences between these two is that the IQ2 has airflow control. So the airflow control with the IQ2 means that you can adjust the dial that's on the bottom to your liking. So you can give your draw more resistance or less resistance. It has a lot to do with how you pack the bowl and how you round up the flower, and also just your personal preference. I really like having that feature with this. I find that you get better vapor and better draws from the IQ2 over the IQC. I find that it's hit or miss with the IQC. I'm going to give you an example of how they heat up, and you can see how the cloud will work. So I'm gonna fill both of them equally. I'll give you a look at the inside chamber. So that's a very deep, both of them have the same deep bowl. And this is called the pearl, and you can adjust it. So if you want less cannabis, you pull the pearl out or unscrew the pearl out a little bit more, and that way you can have less cannabis in your bowl. They both come with dosing pods as well if you want to microdose, so that will allow you to use a lot less cannabis too. Okay, so I'm going to fill these up equally. This is hemp flower, by the way. It smells lovely. Ah, look at that. I got the perfect amount for each one. So with Davinci's, they really like to have their bowls a little packed. So what I do is I just take my finger and pack it a little bit. You can actually use the stick that it comes with underneath and pack it down a little bit with that as well. It's very messy. So let's heat up these two vaporizers, and you'll see that IQC does heat up faster than this one by a little bit. You turn them on by pressing the top button 5 times. Now they're both set to the temperature of 356 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. That's a temperature you want to use for tasting. It's a really nice tasting temperature, but it's also a really good temperature for hemp or CBD. That's the boiling point for CBD. It's also, I wanted to show you how the cloud looks at a lower temperature. This one tends to have really good cloud if you're using a higher temperature, so you get to see the difference between the two. Let's see. So that one's ready. This one's still chugging along. And they both have equally charged batteries as well right now. There we go. The IQC edges out the IQ2 a little bit in heat up time. So I'm going to show you what the cloud is like. Not bad. Let's take a look at this one. As you can see, you get a lot more cloud with this one. I find, as I said, I hit and miss with this vaporizer. This one you just get more oomph. There's a little more oomph than this one. So I'm going to do another hit of each one so that you can see what it's like after it's been heated up for a little bit as well. But I found just by using the two, I tend to go to this one over this one. This one is a really good vaporizer. I like it. I tend to go for this one when I'm just too lazy to clean this one. And this one's cleaner. But that's basically, I find that this one is a little bit better than this one as far as draw and airflow. A little bit more when it's been heated up. It's just better cloud with this one. Now with both of these, you can either put in precise heat. You can also set it to be the vapor paths. So they have 4 preset paths that you can choose from. And basically it starts at one temperature and gradually goes up about 20 degrees. I never use the paths. I always use a preset temperature, but paths are a good thing to use, especially when you're wanting to just get the flavor, but you want to get a higher temperature. So you can start the vaporizer with 356 or 180 degrees Celsius, and then you can get the flavor and it will gradually increase so that you can get the more cannabinoids that you're looking for with a higher temperature. You can also visit weedmama.ca. I have a temperature guide on there and a boiling points for the different terpenes and cannabinoids, so you can see where to set the temperature of your vaporizer depending on whichever cultivar that you're using and what terpenes are in there. All right, so overall I find that the biggest difference between these two vaporizers is simply the cloud, as I showed you. It's a little hit and miss with this one, but there's not so much of it's not such a huge difference that I would say definitely buy this one over this one. If you're looking to save money, if you're looking for something that Davinci is a great company, and I love their vaporizers and they're very nice to have. But if you're on a budget, especially if you're in Canada, because they tend to be a little more expensive in Canada, I would recommend that you go with IQC. Same features. There's some, airflow control you don't get. You also don't get dose control or dose monitoring. It's not a feature that I use, but if you are a medical patient, you might prefer to have that, monitoring your dose, then this vaporizer might be a better choice for you. But overall, they're both very good vaporizers, and if you're looking for something with a longer warranty and a little bit more robust, I've dropped this thing I don't know how many times, and it's never been damaged. It's a really solid vaporizer. I would pick this one slightly over this one, but if you're on a budget and you want to save a little bit of money, you're still going to get a really good dryer vaporizer with the IQC. So really, it just comes down to warranty and your price. All right, thank you so much for joining me. Please do visit weedmama.ca, where you can find a lot more information about dryer vaporizing and using cannabis in general.